in his hands, was gazing in the direction of the castle and thinking hard about his objective. How could he manage, first, to meet Shekishusai, and second, to overcome him with his sword? "Do you like flowers?" Kocha asked as she entered. "Flowers?" She showed him the peony. It's nice. Do you like it?" "Yes." "It's supposed to be a peony, a white peony." "Is it? Why don't you put it in a vase over there?" "I don't know how to arrange flowers." "You do it." "No, you do it. It's better to do it without thinking how it's going to look." "Well, I'll go and get some water," she said, taking the vase out with her. Musashi's eyes happened to light on the cut end of the peony stem. His head tilted in surprise, though he couldn't pinpoint what it was that attracted his attention. Casual interest had become intense scrutiny by the time Kocha came back. She put the vase in the alcove and tried sticking the peony in it, but with poor results. "The stem's too long," said Musashi. "Bring it here. I'll cut it. Then when you stand up, it'll look natural." Kocha brought the flower over and held it up to him. Before she knew what had happened, she had dropped the flower and burst into tears. Small wonder, for in the split second, Musashi had whipped out his short sword, uttered a vigorous cry, slashed through the stem between her hands, and resheathed his sword. To Kocha, the glint of the steel and the sound of the sword snapping back into his scabbard seemed simultaneous. Making no attempt to comfort the girl, Musashi picked up the piece of the stem he had cut off and began comparing one end of it with the other. He seemed completely absorbed. Finally taking notice of the distraught state, he apologized and patted her on the head. Once he had coaxed her out of her tears, he asked, "Do you know who cut this flower?" "No, it was given to me." "By whom?" "By a person from the castle." "One of the samurai?" "No, it was a young woman." Then you think the flower came from the castle?" "Yes, she said it did." "I'm sorry I scared you. If I buy you some cakes later, will you forgive me? In any case, the flower should be just right now. Try putting it in the vase. Will this do?" "Yes, that's fine." Kocha had taken an instant liking to Musashi, but the flash of his sword had chilled her to the marrow. She left the room unwilling to return until her duties made it absolutely unavoidable. Musashi was far more fascinated by the 8-inch piece of stem than by the flower in the alcove. He was sure first cut had not been made with either scissors or a knife. Since peony stems are lithe and supple, the cut could only have been made with a sword, and only a very determined stroke would have made so clean of a slice. Whoever had done it was no ordinary person, although he himself had just tried to duplicate the cut with his own sword. Upon comparing both ends, he was immediately aware that his own cut was by far the inferior one. He asked himself what it could mean. If a samurai working the castle garden can make a cut like this, then the standards of the house of the Koyagyu must be even higher than I thought. His confidence suddenly deserted him. "I'm nowhere near ready yet." Gradually, however, he recovered from his feelings. In any event, the Koyagyu people are worthy opponents. If I should lose, I can fall at their feet and accept defeat with good grace. I've already decided I'm willing to face anything, even death. Sitting and mustering up the courage, he felt himself grow warmer. Otsu felt relieved and still had a little smile on her face when she rode back through the castle gate. After returning the horse to the stable, she went to report to Sekishusai. He laughed and said, "So, they were angry. Fine. Let them be angry. There's nothing they can do about it." After a moment, he seemed to remember something else. "Did you throw the peony away?" he asked. She explained that she had given it to the maid at the inn, and he nodded his approval. "Did the Yoshioka boy take the peony in his hand and look at it?" he asked. "Yes, when he read the letter." "And?" "He just handed it back to me." "He didn't look at the stem?" "No, not that I noticed." "He didn't examine it or say anything about it?" "No. It's just as well that I refused to meet with him. He's not worth meeting. The house of the Yoshioka might just as well have ended with Kempo." So in the meantime, Musashi is crafting up a letter to send to the castle after he notices the peony and the stem. And he sends his little pupil, Jotaro, over to the castle. And Jotaro is kind of a little wild child. He's very young. he's persistent. So he gets there and he talks to Kazimon, which is the main teacher / warrior at the castle, and he gives him the letter. And Kazimon says, "I don't want to read it. I know it's just another Ronin or samurai that wants to learn, and we don't have time for you guys." So he persists, and he gets Kazimon to read it. So here we go. You wield your tongue superbly. Let's hope you can do the same with your sword when you grow up. He broke the seal of the letter and silently read Musashi's message. As he read, his face became serious. When he was finished, he said, "Did you bring anything along with this letter?" "Oh, I forgot. I was to give you this too." Jotaro quickly pulled the peony stem from his kimono. Silently, Kazimon examined both ends of the stem, looking somewhat puzzled. He could not completely understand the meaning of Musashi's letter. It explained how the inn's maid had brought him a flower, which she said had come from the castle, and that upon examining the stem, he had discovered that the cut had been made by no ordinary person. The message continued. After putting the flower in a vase, I sensed some special spirit about it, and I feel that I simply have to find out who made that cut. The question may seem trivial, but if you would not mind telling me which member of your household did it, I would appreciate you sending a reply by the boy who delivered my letter. That was all. No mention of the writer being a student, no request for a bout. What an odd thing to write, said Kazimon. He looked at the peony stem again and again, examined both ends closely, but without being able to discern whether one end differed from the other. "Murata," he called, "come look at this. Can you see any difference between the cuts at the ends of this stem? Does one cut perhaps seem to be keener?" So it goes on, and even the swordsman at the castle can't see what Musashi observed in that peony, in that stem. So they gather a bunch of samurais, and they're just staring at the flower. I think it's because they just don't pay attention to things, like Musashi does. Even flowers and stems, and the manner in which they can be cut. Like I said, Musashi takes everything in as his teacher. If what the letter says is true, Kazimon said, and he really could tell that this stem had been cut by an expert, then he must know something we don't. The old master cut it himself, and apparently that's plain to someone whose eyes really see. The old master cut it himself, and apparently that's plain to someone whose eyes really see. That's wonderful. That's a good line there.